look like poop. There we go. Alright, hello, check, check. It's 11 o'clock, and I believe I must be live right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you may be in this world. Alright, I will be very briefly from now beginning this thumbnail. Alrighty, here we go. So this week on Culturally Effed, we'll be taking a look at the epic comic book series that is BlackSad. It's currently 11 a.m. local time for me, and that's still it's still pretty early for me. I haven't even had a cup of coffee yet. Just slightly out of character for me, but hey, do what you gotta do. Today, we'll not only be just drawing BlackSad, but also one of our longtime patrons, Arbitrary Plaid, who couldn't draw enough art for at this point. She's been extremely supportive, so hats off to her. It's going to be quickly just making a quick, dirty comp for, basically what I'm going to be doing today. Going very directly off of this cover here, and we're going to do bust shots. Just going to get that little bit of headroom in there. Yeah, I'll take his ear out of there. And leave that bit of space there with his wrist and the gun. You know, I think that's it right there. So let's just get to the point. Next layer. Let's get this opacity down. I like working with more neutral backgrounds at first, so I don't get caught up in a color or a mood that, excuse me, doesn't quite fit what I'm going for. So, I think I'm just going to change the head positions a little. I want to keep that copy of the reference aside. Just gonna get rid of all the other distractions from the reference. Yeah, I want to keep the same mood as this image here, really. So yeah, I am creating a little extra work by redrawing BlackSad here. However, drawing over a great piece of work like this is also a quick bit of self-study for me while I'm doing this. So here we go. Arbitrary ink white. Play that up a little bit. So I recommend anytime you do any significant change to a key part of a reference, such as this, you use it on a duplicate layer. That way, if you completely mess it up, just go right back to restart it. None of that undo stuff, especially if you have to do something complicated. So arbitrary is put aside. I am going to, I'm going to keep that head direction, maybe add a bit of tilt. Got these little ears, very, very comparable, honestly, that's nice. But of course, like a dragon. Alright. So basically, once I get these heads in place, I will just quickly paint in BlackSad, and then I just want to drop the reference altogether. So get the fact that he's wearing a nice trench coat. There you go. I always love drawing suits. It's just very pleasing shapes, of course. Sort of the associated with the elite, I'm sure. Still be each getting their own expressions, surely. I'll make arbitrary particularly plaid in this one, not just arbitrarily. Give me a similar attire, but of course. At this point, I just want to get in a simple wireframe for what I'm going to be doing. Usually before with thumbs, I would just dive in with the color. I want to give myself a bit more structure now than just simple shapes, but even this is still extremely loose. I pull the reference aside. Crank up that opacity. Decisions. Alright, so next up we're going to get a splash of color in there. I already like the warm light that he's using in this painting. I think I'm just going to sample from the colors that are here. So, starting with a round brush. Oh, laptop is feeling the stream already. 8 minutes in. So just getting a little note for his hand. Just grab a couple of colors for his coat. It's maybe a little too dramatic right now, but sure. Splash right there. Get the corner. It's a slightly lighter shade than the brown for his fur, so I definitely don't want to lose any detail in there. So, I mean, he's already got a strong palette working in this painting. I'm just going to be mostly taking colors at this point, and then just throwing in my own touch. Definitely one of the strongest parts about BlackSad, because I don't need to explain. It's definitely the lighting, the colors, the artwork. I mean, I don't I don't honestly remember too much of the plot. I just fell in love with the artwork in this comic book. So So right now, we just want to start separating the characters. I want to get in simple notes for each of them. Excuse me. I'm not too much of a morning person. It usually takes me a while to get started. Not really feeling the best today. So, it might be a little too pink. Alright. Maybe sample from here. It's very similar to the plaid she wears. Put a little more spotlight on her. Darker, less saturation. Smear it, yeah, make it uglier as a color. Yeah. So, yeah, diving into colors at this point. Blocking in shapes. Oh, no, that's not how we're doing that. Today's nosebleed section is brought to you by RK and the muted mic that is in his workspace. Once again, hats off to the morning people. I don't know how you do it. Just wake up with energy like that. Just must be nice. Yeah. Ooh, references. Alright, so at this point I have enough in characters. I want to push in the background. So one thing I like to do with my paintings is definitely consider all parts of it as I'm going, not to get too caught up in character or rock under the bush or anything like that. I just want to keep moving. Just want to be able to keep running the entire composition. It's important to know how everything is going to look next to each other, and what kind of mood the whole thing is setting if you're not getting too off target. With a lighter background, it's going to keep BlackSad in focus. Arbitrary is an interesting character, so she holds her own. So Something less saturated. Darker. Burnt. Sure. Call it the BG. Let's start gradating it. I want to be like. Okay, I've done this many thumbnails, so I thought I appreciate the help. Alright, from here I'm going to make myself a palette. Just to keep things going. Keep things on track. Usually get this done a bit sooner. Here we go. Oh, that's arbitrary colors on the left, or BlackSad on the right. Alright, so go with it more. There you go. Feel pretty well done with that part, so alrighty. Merge these. Duplicate it, make it a bit more solid. Yes, that's what I needed. Shadow colors. Start with this, so I'm going to make it desaturated after. There we go. Should shape that way. Get some texture out of it. I'm not quite sure what to do with it, honestly. I'm going to leave it alone for now. So it's more the value balance I was looking for. Thinking now, how am I going to go about the text? Let's just start including that in the layout now, just to help me work that out sooner than later. I mean, I don't really want to do everything centered. Feels a bit flat. We keep it to the side. Maybe make them a little bigger. Alright, time to add some features and you know, distinct characteristics to our protagonists here. That's legit. Here we go. Here we go. At this point, just trying to define planes. Just trying to make my way around the character's face. Just get a feel for where light's going to be hitting, where it's going to be strongest. Definitely feel like there's going to be a lot of scatter light in here through the ear. It's not a whole lot of cartilage for it to get through, so I can really capture light in there. Maybe just get a sharp edge of that. Really push some of the saturation on this part of her. Sure the light hits. Blend it a little. Sample the color. Get a brighter version of it. Pop it in. Then you got a more brilliant highlight. Nicer transition. With her crazy haircut, I can push more cast shadow onto the distant ear. Get that nice little tip up there. Just a little touch of the shadow. Pick that color and run with it. Don't often put into words how I'm painting as I'm painting, so it's probably not making much sense if you're actually listening to what I'm saying, and if it is, I'll just keep talking anyway. And she's got a bit of a pouty face. Push the fem. Let's push. Good attitude. Okay, clear edges. So she's coming along. She still kind of looks like some Middle Eastern grandmother. Um, Love the fursuit though. That's such a cute design. Yeah, this is a real character. No. Treat as such. Color eyes, the brown. Righto. Hey, we got a face. We got a face. That's the thing about painting. It can get ugly sometimes, but just see it through. See it through. And your little blobs can turn into slightly better blobs. Alright, moving forward. Alrighty, how is the stream doing? So, how do I go into overlay? I'm just going to push other parts of the head further away. We wait for Photoshop to respond. Alright, so, as mentioned before, I don't like to dwell on one aspect of the image too long. This is a bit more of a premium episode for us, for lack of a better term, so I don't mind giving this one a bit more love than the others. Very happy that a few audience members here today can still inspire and you know, leave you with such humbling words. Your blobs can turn into slightly better blobs. Now it's starting to look like something else. Alright, let's just get on with it. Let's stop working on that. Okay, now we're gonna work on BlackSad's face, of course, right after I finish off these flipping arms. What's she even doing right there? All she's doing here is just making furries jealous. There we go. Nice. Fancy plaid blazer. That's the way she do it. That's how she gets done. Alright, so finding more decisions with the image here. Maybe I'll make them smiling for this one. Frankly, I just want to put in the colors and just get rid of the reference and not feel bound to it at all. Because these guys worked for Disney. I don't want to have to look at that. You know, people knew what they're doing, you know. A reference is a reference. Work with it. Slightly better blob. God. Here we go, folks. All done. Alright. BlackSad and arbitrary plaid. Alright, so eliminate the reference. Which way are you looking there, buddy? I'm BlackSad. There's your nose. There's your little duty nose. Not your color. It's not the color at all. 7. Huh. No. Cat's eyes. I was hanging out with a black cat last night. She is spooky little cat. Coco is her name. She gets all caught up under the table and the sheets. Now that I'm here at the live stream, everything is alright. Also not exactly realizing how much working in this slightly smaller painting space is This point of the stream, I mean, I won't be able to read your comment immediately, but if you hang around, I just might answer. Stick around, folks. Exciting comment responses. Whoa, I merged them. Why? It's not what I wanted to do. Okay. It's a yeah, okay. There is that heavy bridge, the Vegeta bridge. When you have your eyebrows like this, and then give it that little squint, Vegeta bridge. Anyway. For some reason, that was just one specific feature of Dragon Ball Z faces that always stood out to me. Just that very pronounced, I guess, unibrow section. I can't remember the anatomical term for it. I'm not quite sure what I'm listening to on YouTube anymore. I chose a song that is ad-free, because I'd rather we just listen to steady music than have an ad interrupt every now and then. I mean, I'm kind of digging this whole hypnotic voodoo thing. Alright, so I think I have the general, I guess, attitudes I'm looking for on this one. Just drop the ref. Drop the ref. Okay, dropping the reference. Forget it. There you go. Let's give him some fucking cheeks. There you go. I want to push that a little more even. And keep his ear below the frame. The other one most clearly goes out. Alright, so we use that there. Why not use it again here? Give it a bit of that reflected light behind it. But mostly getting the plane away from his head. Darker. So I've duplicated the layer a couple of times. I mean, it's good practice if you don't use completely opaque brushes. Even now, fuck, I've smeared that a lot, way too much. Okay. Yeah, it's good just to duplicate your transparent layers every now and then, just to really thicken them and make sure, you know, like I use clipping masks, so I mean it's probably my own fault, but instead of just simple selections. To each their own. There are many ways to get to the same place in Photoshop, especially. Right, so I have that bit of space between the shadow and the chin, just to show a stronger idea of the light direction there. So I want to use a different color for the cast shadow, the plaid shadow. Okay. Oh. 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 Go. A little brighter. What's saturated? There we go. A nice cast shadow color here. You got BlackSad. He's a big mean kitty. We're just gonna paint this happy little cast shadow of a beautiful woman happily laying before him. And she's no ordinary woman. I don't know. Don't know like this. There we go. Natives, and then form shadows. Yeah. Take that. Granito. I can color too. Ho ho. Ho ho. It may not make as much sense or have as much atmosphere or structural continuity. But I like to think I make pretty things too. I think multiply is a better call for the cast shadow. Yeah, the overlay didn't work out too well, honestly. Let's try this again. There we go. Softer. So we have shadow from her body, and then these really close ones from her hands. Alright, so still have this warmth layer. I might just change this to straight up blue. Yeah, there you go. Right. Saturated, and I'm going to just make it pretty pink up there. Yes, I do indeed like how this is progressing. 42 minutes in. I feel like I'm a little slow, but we are always where we stand. Oh, now maybe the time to merge them. I'm going to a layer called Blackhand. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out and watching and being part of the magic that is culturally effed. The premier furry YouTube channel on all things furry, not brought to you by charismatic personality in a carpet costume, which, granted, is much more continuous and apparently successful than what we've been trying to do. no single act that can define you. I've come across some 4-bar blues. It's pretty good. No, arbitrary does not have a gun. Like he's got a gun. No, he's got a gun. Do, 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 do. I mostly use brush tool and smudge tool for coloring. By default, the smudge tool is not assigned to any hotkey. I have mine set to the letter N, neutral. Well, neutral N. There's nothing assigned to N by default, so it just kind of works itself. There are a pack of smudge tools I received from a teacher I find particularly useful, and that's what I've been using for quite a while now. It's really helped me push gradients and other textures as well. In the last year with my painting, I've been trying to push texture without going in and like carving out every scale or anything like that, but rather relying on the relationship and values to do that work for me. It's a very particular way to show something that could be flat, matte, or squishy, or wet, or anything like that. Like this is starting to look a little glossy here. I'm starting to get confused in some of these planes. There we go. It's a lot easier to look at. Alright, let me hop back into our palette and we make a cold light. Gosh, another light? I want another shell, woman. reflected light, I can tell you where his ear starts. Like that. It's pretty cool. So not a lot of it is going to reach her. I mean, he blocks all of it from her, honestly. That in itself tells an initial part of the story. Still waking up and it's almost noon, guys. I gotta get it together. I gotta. What was I doing? What was I up so late for? Oh. Yesterday. Just did a lot while hosting a friend from back home. She left this morning, so we stayed up a little extra late last night, just hanging out. Even today, it's a cool way to push to make it to my own date on time. I'm so happy I made it here. Sad as it kind of sounds. Right. Okay. No, I can't have him as the who the fuck are you face. I gotta get that back. So I was back right Actually got a little longer, but I think I would have noticed. Think I would have noticed. That's an hour. Oh yeah, those are the settings I already used for that preview thumbnail thing. So when I say words so many times, it just starts losing me. That's cool. Full of gold? Absolutely. Always remember that it's going to display how long the video is in the corner. Don't put anything down there. Oh god. I want to see how quickly I can finish this. Alright guys, YouTube playlists have taken a turn in the interesting direction. Super happy glam rock. Glam rock? So at this point, I just want to get this thing done. I'm going to bring it to a finish by resolving all like the muddy parts in the important sections. If anything, leaving it muddy in less important sections will just keep your eye focused where it needs to be, which is, you know, the important sections. Like the face. Digging this music, whatever it is. Oh. See, does that look at all like arbitrary play? The lady. Transitions between colors, edges within the figure, really push forms, overlaps. So I said that's what a highlight is. Edge right there. Alright, we're approaching the end of today's stream. I've been your extremely charismatic and entertaining host, Underbite. But we're not done quite yet. apparently informed Google of my extreme disco interest. James Brown and Cool the Gang, and see who else comes up. Is this cool? I don't know. Song maybe a little bit ahead of BlackSad's time. Once again, I was focusing on ad-free music from YouTube today, so maybe I could find something better for a playlist. I'm happy that this time I have audio from start to finish. That's a plus. Wow. I had to drop on the point that there's a gun. Alright, so now I want to make sure that we don't lose BlackSad to Arbitrary Plat here. As amazing as she is as a patron, as a supporter of Culturally Effed through Patreon, with her amazing monthly contributions, the least we can do on Culturally Effed is honor her. got like the buffalo. Alright guys, I think we got a thumbnail for this week. Maybe get a little fancier with that Dutch tilt on the BlackSad. Maybe incorporate it with a little ding. Just make sure you don't interfere with that. Because that's where I put the text this week. Alright. Turn that down a little. Here we go, folks. Behold. Yeah, he does smoke cigarettes. BlackSad absolutely smokes cigarettes. I use the cigarette in my drawings whenever I can. So, I'm just going to do that. Cigarette smoke is sort of like a grayish blue. Go over her ear into her hair. Check it that way. There we go, folks. I keep saying it's done, and I keep working on it. There you go. I guess I still feel like she's taking the spotlight. Some aspects of her face are a little weird too. I guess there we go. Thank you so much for joining today. This will be published sooner or later. And I'll be back next week to stream with you all once again. Take care.